Hello. It's time for college football week 3 predictions. So, get excited for that. I was going to do this Friday, but I was pretty busy on Friday, so I have to do it on the morning of the games, which is a lot better because you have more of a context of what the teams are going to do. Didn't do college football week 2 predictions because of, NFL, and that was on my mind. But now, I'll resume by doing week 3 predictions. First things first, you got Alabama, the number 4 team in the country, going up against Wisconsin. I think that's how you pronounce it. So yeah, Alabama's a 16-point favorite, but we have seen early on that Alabama, they're not the same as they used to be. They struggled against University of Southern Florida, or USF, and Alabama just doesn't look like the almighty Titan. And plus, it doesn't help that they got Georgia coming up next week. So that will be interesting to watch. And then you have Wisconsin, a team that has, not really been impressive for quite a while. I mean, they are 2-0, but it was against Western Michigan and South Dakota, which they didn't really blow out. They won 28-14 over Western Michigan and 27-13 over South Dakota, which is not the kind of games that you want to be, close. And going into this, Alabama's a 16.5 favorite. They have a 92% chance of winning. But however, the game is in Wisconsin, so you know it's going to be, very rocking. It's going to have a huge atmosphere. Because of that, I believe that Wisconsin will at first keep it somewhat competitive, but I do believe that Alabama will pull through. But it'll be a lot closer than what some people would think it would be. Then you got Oklahoma State, number 13 in the country, against Tulsa. Oklahoma State. Now, they're 17.5 point favorites over Tulsa, but what they have to keep in mind is I'm really impressed with Oklahoma State. Despite not winning the Big 12 last year and losing to Texas, it seems that they have a very good chance of going to the playoffs by winning the Big 12, which is, would be a great thing for the school, and it would also be a huge sign of the new 12 format playoffs. Now, they're going to beat Tulsa. They're going to beat Tulsa very easily. Give me Oklahoma State. Then you got a trap game here. Number 16 LSU is taking on South Carolina. LSU off to a bit of a shaky start. They started off the year losing to USC, but then they sort of rebounded when they won their next game. So currently, LSU is 1-1. Now they beat Nicholas State, but it was only 44-21. They allowed 20 points on them, which is not really a good sign. And then you're going on the road to South Carolina. South Carolina, notorious for those kinds of upsets. But South Carolina was disappointing last year. And now, they barely beat Old Dominion, but they blew out Kentucky. So I don't really know what we're going to get with this. I really don't know what we're going to get with this South Carolina team. Now, College Game Day will be there, which is always a good boost if you're, wanting to pull an upset. But in my opinion, since I don't really have a clear idea of what we're going to get from South Carolina, I'm going to take LSU here, but it's going to be a pretty close game. Probably will come down to the wire. So give me LSU. Now, I wasn't really going to mention this game, but I kind of have to. You have Memphis versus Florida State. Florida State. Honestly, we are currently seeing the fallout after their horrendous Orange Bowl performance, of them whining and complaining that they did not make the playoffs because of SEC bias, and then an SEC team crushing them. Now, honestly, Florida State is just making themselves look more and more stupid. Like, really, they're showing those SEC propagandists that the SEC is the best conference and the SEC is superior to other teams and that the SEC champion should be the national champion. I know I may be somewhat exaggerating, but that definitely sounds like what an SEC fan would say. Florida State, a 6-point favorite. And Florida State, I mean, there are already people calling for their coach's head, which is never a good sign because they really needed to do well because they had a lot of high expectations placed on them. They're 0-2, lost embarrassing games to Georgia Tech and Boston College, and I mean, not a lot to go around here, but they're last in the ACC, and they've really just shown how, well, vulnerable they are and how, well, fraudulent they are. And you look at Memphis, they've had some very good wins. They beat Troy last week, 38-17, and they're 2-0, and they do have a good chance if things go right. They could make the playoffs if they're the best Group of 5 team in the country, which a win over Florida State could really boost their claim. But I'm going to take Florida State here, but I would not be surprised if Memphis wins. Like, if Memphis beats Florida State, then you have to fire a coach and gut everything because, well, things are not looking too good right now. Then you got two ranked teams going at each other. You got number 24 ranked Boston College going against Missouri, which I was a bit surprised when they, well, decided to rank Boston College, but hey, what do you know? Northern Illinois is ranked too. So Boston College, 2-0, probably ranked mostly because they beat Florida State. Now they're going up against Missouri, who really looks like an SEC contender, maybe a playoff contender. And that's not really a good sign for Boston College. Like, Boston College, like, I wasn't really impressed. Like, they did beat Duquesne, but just remember, it's Duquesne. And they're only really ranked because of the Florida State win. And now here they are going on the road to Missouri, a team that is supposed to be a huge contender. I don't think so. I got Missouri winning pretty big over Boston College, and most likely this will be the game that I'll be watching this afternoon. Then you got number 9 ranked Oregon versus Oregon State. The rivalry continues even after the Pac-12 somewhat disintegrated and now it's coming back. Oregon definitely misses Bo Nix. Like, Oregon, I mean, you miss Bo Nix. It's very sad, but you are still winning games, and you're a 17-point favorite over Oregon State. So I got Oregon winning, but that's something that Oregon should be very concerned about. Then moving on down the list, we got West Virginia versus Pitt. And who do you think I'm going for? I'm going for West Virginia, but hopefully, after we beat Pitt, and we win the backyard brawl, now we will hopefully begin turning things around. Like, finally we can begin turning things around and maybe get back into contention. I mean, still allowed 20 points on Albany. So, yeah. And tonight, there doesn't really seem to be too much big games. But, well, the only game that I would consider being very interesting to watch is the 7:30 p.m. slot, where number 1 Georgia faces Kentucky, which, who do you think I'm going to pick? I'm going to pick Georgia. Like, only 6 passes by Kentucky? That's embarrassing. So give me Georgia big. So that is my week 3 predictions of some of the best games. So let me know if there are better games for me to pick, and tell me if I missed any, or try to prove me wrong. And so, I go. Bye.